Pamela Redwood calls her decision to start a company a leap of faith, the kind of inspirational line you might hear from one of the 100 celebrity speakers she and her sister Agape Redwood represent.
You hear about on the news people losing their jobs. I'm like, this is happening to me? Am I getting laid off? You know? So we began to just sit back and evaluate what we wanted. We wanted to continue to keep the lifestyle that we had and impact lives at the same time.
28-year-old Pamela and 26-year-old Agape worked for talent management firm Signature Media Group when it dissolved in 2009. Rather than look for a job at another firm, they took their experience handling the speaking engagements of clients like commentator Roland Martin, broadcaster Diane Burns, and Republican strategist Leslie Sanchez, and launched SMG Speakers Bureau.
It's next week.
They face the same challenges as many other entrepreneurs, securing office space and funding. But Pamela Redwood says they had to move fast, negotiating contracts with their former clients to bring in money, and even buying some of Signature Media's office furniture. They also hired 5 full-time staffers initially, which they now say they regret.
When you're giving your own speeches, you're talking about some of the pitfalls of entrepreneurship and some of the lessons that you've learned. What would you say, your biggest mistakes have been so far?
When you first start a company, the first thing you do is you want to expand because you want to grow. And so I think one of the mistakes that we made initially was trying to expand. I hired so many people in the beginning, and if I could change that, I would have just waited. Can you pull up a calendar?
Another mistake, they say, failing to understand each other's communication styles. Agape is creative and spontaneous, the baby of 5 siblings. Pamela is more methodical and strategic.
She just feels like the world is hers. She can conquer it with anything. And I'm more like, gotta work hard to get it. Let's do it. Let's do it. And so it's just 2 different approaches that we have.
I mean, we're sisters. We do pretty much everything together. We're really, really close-knit family. But when it comes down to the business, I have had to really make sure that I'm speaking her language. I'm ready to be able to engage with her so that we can maximize efficiency pretty much.
The sisters work now only with part-time contractors to handle travel, event logistics, marketing, and legal issues. But they hope to hire 2 full-time employees next spring as their speaking roster grows.
And this is my story.
One long-term goal, establishing a nonprofit arm called SMG Cares, which would help organizations and schools that can't afford big-name speakers.
They want this national brand, but they can't get them there. And a lot of young people and audiences, they seem to attach to celebrity brands. So if we can get that speaker there to help inspire children, to help motivate or create or empower, then that is something that we want to do in the future.
Someone like JAMAR Rogers, a contestant on NBC's The Voice, who publicly announced his HIV-positive status on the show and now speaks on HIV and AIDS awareness. We caught up with him at a recent event at an Indianapolis high school.
Your tone is ridiculous. What I really appreciate about Pam and Agape, they're my middleman, so to speak. I have a tendency of being too nice and overextending myself and stretching myself thin. What I really like about them, they keep everything organized. They're not too good to take pictures of me and fans after the show, but they also do it in such a way that I'm not being taken advantage of. And so I really feel like they have my back, and in turn, I want to make them as much money as possible in return,
The Redwood sisters are also considering opening offices in other cities like Los Angeles and creating a training facility for aspiring speakers.
We get a lot of those calls, say, hey, could you represent me? I'm like, you're not ready yet. They still need more practice. And it wouldn't be fair for us to take a commission from someone that doesn't make much money. It's not fair.
Their entrepreneurial efforts go beyond SMG speakers. They recently became certified as a woman and minority-owned business, enabling them to bid on city contracts. They also do corporate brand consulting, which is helping to boost revenue they say has grown by double-digit percentages year over year. It's the kind of growth they hoped for when they started in 2009, and the artwork that hangs in their office illustrates their startup story.
It's a picture of a lady who's like a butterfly, who's taking this huge leap of faith. And so every time I look at it, it's like she took a leap of faith. That's what I'm doing. So I feel like we connected immediately. I always know that this business that we started was a leap of faith. And so we're still in the air. And then the next picture behind you is the picture where, you know, we're soaring, like we're staring above.
This is Lisa Leiter for Crain Chicago Business.